You lie still, and the world beneath you begins to speak. Not in words, but in patience. The ground has been holding its breath for billions of years, exhaling only when a mountain sighs, or when the sea folds its fingers back into the sand. You feel that breath now, subtle, ancient, a rhythm slower than dreams. Geology is not a science of motion, but of memory. It is the study of time written into matter, of events so slow they blur into eternity. Beneath your quiet body, stone carries stories from before the first leaf unfurled, before the first eye opened to see the dawn. Each rock is an archive, holding the handwriting of volcanoes, the brushstrokes of glaciers, the fingerprints of vanished seas. Imagine touching a pebble by a riverbank. Its surface feels smooth, cool, comforting. Yet that single pebble is a traveler older than imagination, born in fire, shaped by water, carried by time. Once it may have been part of a towering mountain, then a fragment, then a grain, then a whisper rolling along a stream. Its journey is not hurried. The stone never minds how long it takes. When you study the earth, you learn the art of patience. You learn that pressure over eons can turn dust into diamond. You learn that stillness is not emptiness, it is work too slow to see. Beneath every quiet valley, plates of crust press and slide. Continents drift by millimeters, and magma hums its deep, unseen melody. The world is not still, even when it feels that way. It is only resting between breaths. Picture the earth as a sleeping creature. Its surface is the skin, warm in places, cool in others. The mountains rise like slow heartbeats, and the oceans pulse with liquid thought. The mantle beneath, dense and glowing, moves with a rhythm that makes centuries seem like seconds. This is what it means to live on a planet that dreams, a planet that creates itself over and over. Sculpting beauty from catastrophe.com, from fire, think of granite. It forms deep underground, where molten rock cools so slowly that crystals have time to grow quartz. Feldspar, mica, each forming in quiet cooperation. A rock like that takes millions of years to become what it is. When you hold it, you hold the calm persistence of time, the patience of atoms waiting for balance. Or think of limestone, born not from flame, but from life. Tiny marine creatures drifted through prehistoric seas, their shells sinking after death to rest in layers. Over epochs, those layers compressed, becoming cliffs and caverns, monuments and marble halls. In that stone, you can trace the outlines of ancient oceans, the hush of long-gone waves. Even now, the rock still breathes faintly, exhaling the memory of water. Sand dunes whisper another kind of story. Each grain of sand is a fragment of something that once stood tall, a mountain face, a coral reef, a volcanic plain. Wind carries these fragments, letting them gather and ripple in patterns that look like frozen music. At night, the dunes hum with tiny shifts as the air cools, moving imperceptibly closer to a new form. Nothing in geology truly ends. Everything transforms again and again in cycles of gentle becoming. You might think erosion is destruction, but erosion is tenderness, the slow touch of wind and rain, smoothing away the sharpness of youth. Even the tallest peaks must bow eventually to time. Yet their surrender is graceful, their patience endless. The dust they give returns to rivers, nourishing new soil, new growth, new beginnings. In geology, loss is not tragedy. It is continuity. Imagine standing at the rim of the Grand Canyon. The layers stretch downward like pages in a cosmic diary. Red, gold, violet, each band a record of some long-forgotten age. To the canyon, your heartbeat is a flicker, your life a grain of dust on its rim. But in that perspective, there is peace. You belong to something vast, yet gentle, a story that does not rush. Even the rocks beneath cities remember quieter times. Under concrete and cables lie ancient seabeds, volcanic plains, and sediments of vanished forests. The foundations we build upon are not merely solid, they are sacred archives, holding the continuity that connects every footstep to the first dawn. When you feel grounded, it is because the ground itself is a living memory. Consider tectonic plates, immense slabs of crust drifting on molten current. They move only a few centimeters per year, slower than fingernails grow, yet their motion shapes continents, raises mountain ranges, and opens new oceans. To think in geologic time is to think like the earth itself, patient, certain, unhurried. Sometimes the earth speaks louder. A volcano reminds us that calm and chaos coexist. When magma rises, pressure builds until the crust can no longer contain it. The eruption seems sudden, but in truth, it has been preparing for millennia. Even destruction, in the language of geology, is just transformation wearing a brighter color. The cooled lava, black and glassy, becomes fertile ground where new life will take root. The planet recycles itself endlessly. Old crust sinks into the mantle, melts, and returns as new land. Minerals dissolve, reform, and crystallize again. The process is both fierce and serene, a cycle of creation that never sleeps. You can hear it if you listen closely enough, a deep hum, a heartbeat beneath the noise of weather and waves. In Iceland, there are places where you can stand with one foot on the North American plate and the other on the Eurasian. There, the earth is literally stretching itself apart. Beneath the fissure, magma glows, a reminder that the planet's heart is still warm. Above, moss and mist soften the edges. The contrast feels impossible. Fire and ice sharing a quiet conversation. Geology teaches you that balance does not mean stillness. It means movement in harmony, tension held in grace. Mountains rise because the earth must release energy. Valleys deepen so rivers can find their way. In this, there is a lesson about your own life, that growth, like tectonics, happens beneath the surface, invisible but unstoppable. And when you look up at the stars, know that even they are geologic in a way forged from collapsing dust and gravity's patience. The same elements that build mountains also burn in suns and shimmer in your veins. Carbon, silicon, iron, the materials of both stars and stones. You are, in every measurable way, a geological being now. As you lie here, the Earth's pulse aligns with yours. You feel the slow turning beneath you, the steady rotation through the velvet dark. Somewhere, deep below, crystal lattice expand and settle. Magma shifts in quiet conversation. Sediments compress into future cliffs. You are part of this stillness, this endless work of becoming. The sound of the world is not just wind or water. It is the soft crackle of minerals rearranging, the sigh of continents drifting past one another, the whisper of time pressing itself into form. Even silence is geological. It has weight, density, and depth. You breathe in, and it feels as though the mountains breathe with you. You exhale, and the valleys answer. The planet is vast, but it holds you gently, like a pebble in its palm, polished by the slow mercy of time. Somewhere, far beneath your resting body, Another story is beginning. The slow formation of something new. Something that will not reveal itself for millions of years. You do not need to see it. You only need to know it is happening, patiently, beautifully, just as you rest. And as the earth turns beneath your dreams, you wonder, quietly, if stone remembers, does water dream too? The thought begins softly, if stone remembers, does water dream? You follow that question as it dissolves into rhythm, into the hush and pull of the tide. Beneath the same moon that shapes the sea, you begin to feel the earth's other pulse, the fluid one, the one that moves not in years, but in heartbeats. Water is the planet's great traveler. It moves in cycles so perfect they never tire, rising as vapor, falling as rain, returning to rivers, flowing to the sea. Every drop has been here before, has fallen on mountains now gone, has drifted through clouds that no longer exist. You might think of water as restless, but it is not. It is curious. It loves to explore the shapes of everything it touches. The ocean is the Earth's oldest mirror. Look into it, and you see the sky repeated in motion, the shimmer of clouds, the reflection of stars, the memory of light scattered across centuries. Beneath its surface, life began. The first cells floated there, dividing and shimmering in the dark warmth of ancient tides. To listen to the sea is to hear the planet remembering how to begin again. You imagine sinking slowly, gently beneath the surface. Light bends and softens. Sound stretches. The upper waters glitter like liquid glass, but below that, a slow twilight begins. Here, colors fade one by one, red, orange, yellow, until only blue remains. That fading is not loss, but peace. In this deepening quiet, your thoughts begin to drift with the currents. Currents are invisible rivers within the sea, vast, looping paths driven by wind, temperature, and salt. They move heat from equator to pole, balancing the planet's breath. The Gulf Stream, for example, carries warmth from the Caribbean across the Atlantic, softening winters in northern lands. Without these silent travelers, climate itself would collapse. The ocean, in its flowing patience, is the body that keeps Earth alive. If you could see the ocean from space, you would notice patterns, spirals, swirls, delicate filigrees of motion. Each one is a fingerprint of physics, where differences in temperature and salinity create invisible sculptures. It is not chaos, it is choreography. The sea moves with the grace of something that has had billions of years to practice. Now you drift deeper. The light thins further, and with it, the noise of the world above. Pressure grows, 1 atmosphere for every 10 meters, but the ocean does not mind. It holds weight the way the earth holds memory, evenly, without strain. Down here, creatures have adapted to darkness with elegance. Bioluminescent jellyfish bloom like slow fireworks, each pulse a whisper of light that fades as gently as breath on glass. The deep ocean floor, though unseen, is alive with geological quiet. Volcanic vents exhale minerals into the cold blackness, feeding entire ecosystems that never see the sun. Tube worms, ghostly white, sway like underwater candles. Bacteria transforms chemicals into life, performing photosynthesis without light. A reminder that even in darkness, creation finds a way. Think of the mid-ocean ridges, mountain ranges that lie hidden beneath the sea. Longer than all the continents combined. They form where tectonic plates pull apart, letting magma rise and cool into new crust. The sea floor spreads slowly, like the earth breathing out. What began as stone now becomes saltwater's companion. Cradled in the rhythm of tides, you rise again, drifting upward with bubbles that shimmer like stars returning home. Near the surface, plankton bloom, countless microscopic beings turning sunlight into life. Each one a small miracle, together forming the base of every oceanic food web. They are the lungs of the planet, creating much of the oxygen you breathe. Though you rarely think to thank them, the waves you see at the shore are not just water, they are energy made visible. Born from the wind, they travel great distances, carrying stories from distant storms. When they meet the land, they kneel, folding themselves into foam. Their rhythm has no haste. Each wave knows exactly when to arrive. Tides, too, are lessons in trust. The moon pulls at the sea with invisible threads, drawing water across the globe in gentle arcs. Every shore rises and falls in answer to that celestial touch. Twice a day, everywhere, the ocean breathes in and out. You, too, breathe in rhythm with it, though you may not realize at night. When the sea is calm, bioluminescent plankton can light the waves with their glow. A single step in the shallows sends ripples of blue-green light trailing behind you, as though you are walking through starlight. This is chemistry transformed into wonder, luciferin meeting oxygen, creating light with no heat, no noise, no waste. The sea glows because it can dot the ocean's calm hides immense strength. A single cubic meter weighs a ton. A wave can lift ships or sculpt coastlines, given time. But its power is never cruel. It is simply the language of motion. The sea does not rage. It rearranges. It smooths, reshapes, renews. The salt in seawater, about 35 parts per thousand, comes from the land itself. Rain erodes rocks. Rivers carry their dissolved minerals to the sea, and over eons, the ocean becomes a record of that slow conversation between stone and rain. When you taste salt on your lips at the beach, you are tasting the memory of mountains, the same ones you once dreamed of in Geology's chapter. In the great deep, sound travels faster than light. Whale songs can echo across thousands of kilometers, low frequencies rolling like underwater thunder. Scientists believe these songs help whales navigate, communicate, perhaps even comfort each other in the vastness. To drift in that darkness and hear such sound is to realize that even the ocean listens to itself. Near the poles, sea ice forms and melts in seasonal rhythm. When it freezes, it pushes out salt, making the surrounding water sink, one of the great engines of global circulation. When it melts, it feeds the surface with fresh water, softening the ocean's breath again. Balance, as always, is a conversation, not a line. You imagine standing on a quiet beach, waves lapping at your feet. Each one washes away a thin layer of sand, reshaping the shore grain by grain. This is the same patience you saw in geology, erosion and creation woven together. Water is not separate from stone. It is its sculptor and its student. The ocean covers more than 70% of the Earth's surface, yet we have explored only a fraction. Most of it remains mysterious, a dark, slow world, untouched by sunlight, but alive with motion. Perhaps it is better that way. The unknown gives the planet its depth, just as silence gives music its meaning. Above it all, the moon still pulls, the wind still stirs, and the sea still answers. The planet breathes through its waters, regulating climate, nurturing life, shaping coasts. To listen to the sea is to understand that life itself depends on rhythm. Inhale, exhale, tide in, tide out. As you float in this thought, The distinction between you and the water begins to fade. Your pulse matches the slow push and pull. You are not beside the ocean. You are within it. Every cell in your body carries water older than stars. Every tear, every breath, every drop of blood is part of the same ancient tide. And as you drift deeper into stillness, the question comes softly: if water dreams, then what does the air remember? Asterisk, asterisk, you lift from the ocean's embrace and find yourself surrounded by air, the invisible, gentle, all-encompassing sea above the stone and water. It is everywhere and nowhere at once, pressing softly against your skin, yet flowing freely through your body. The air is alive, carrying the memory of every movement it has ever made. The brushing of leaves, the caress of waves, the passage of a distant storm. Air is patient. It drifts slowly over continents, bends around mountains, and fills valleys with quiet breath. It has a history older than any civilization, shaped by the rotation of the earth, warmed by the sun, guided by gravity. You inhale it, and in that single act, you touch clouds that have circled the globe, molecules that have been part of ancient forests, deserts, and oceans. You taste the past with every breath. Wind is the voice of the planet. Sometimes it whispers, brushing hair and skin with invisible fingers. Sometimes it roars, bending trees, shaping dunes, carrying rain over distant lands. Each gust tells a story of pressure and temperature, of sunlight and shade, of high and low. To listen to wind is to hear the language of physics, air moving in pursuit of balance, never hurried, never lost. The atmosphere is layered, like a gentle cake of air. The troposphere cradles life, carrying clouds, weather, and the scent of the earth. Above it, the stratosphere filters sunlight, a calm guardian, while the mesosphere and thermosphere stretch toward the black velvet of space. In each layer, air moves in rhythms too slow or too vast for humans to see. Yet you can feel it in subtle ways: a chill, a warmth, the hush before a storm. Clouds are the poetry of the sky. They rise, float, and scatter in endless shapes: cumulus, stratus, cirrus, and nimbostratus, forming patterns that are never repeated. They are collections of droplets and ice, tiny travelers that have risen from the sea or fallen from mountains. Some drift lazily, others churn with storm energy, but all move with an elegance that invites quiet observation. Think of condensation. Warm air rises, cools, and gathers moisture into droplets. This invisible process creates everything from morning mist to rainstorms. The water you saw in the ocean now floats above, forming clouds that will later return it to the earth. Life exists in this continuous circulation, an eternal dialogue between land, sea, and sky. Air carries sound in ways that are both immediate and subtle. The whisper of leaves, the distant cry of a bird, the soft pounding of rain on a roof. Each vibration travels through molecules in a delicate chain, reaching your ears like tiny waves. Even silence is shaped by air, the quiet between notes, the space in which wind and thought move freely. The color of the sky is a lesson in light and scattering. Blue dominates because short wavelengths of sunlight scatter in every direction, while sunrise and sunset paint the horizon in red and gold, bending long wavelengths into your view. These shifts are slow dances of photons, a constant performance above the earth that requires no audience but is never incomplete. Air pressure is gravity's gentle pull. Every breath you take presses molecules against your lungs, reminding you of the unseen weight of the sky. In mountains, pressure drops and air thins. At sea level, it presses more insistently. Yet this force is never harsh. It is a gentle framework, holding the atmosphere in place, shaping weather and wind, supporting life without notice. Weather is the orchestra of the atmosphere, a symphony composed of temperature, moisture, and pressure. Storms rise and fall, clouds swirl, rain falls, and lightning arcs in brilliant arcs. Yet, at the same time, the calm persists. Between storms, there is stillness, a blue sky stretching endlessly, a soft breeze carrying the scent of earth and water, a horizon that curves and bends with quiet grace. You might imagine tracing a single molecule of air. It has drifted from a forest, over mountains, across seas, perhaps over deserts and cities. It has carried pollen, dust, sea spray, and the faint fragrance of flowers. Now it enters your lungs, as ancient and patient as the mountains, as flowing as the oceans. It reminds you that you are always in motion, even while still. The air holds heat and energy, moving them through convection. Warm air rises, cool air descends, creating cycles that power winds and shape climates. These cycles are slow and steady, not frantic. Even hurricanes, intense as they are structured dances, driven by heat and moisture. Following the laws of physics with precision and grace, at night, the sky carries starlight through air that bends slightly, scattering photons into subtle glows. Moonlight touches you softly, filtered by the atmosphere's layers, a gentle caress from the universe itself. The same air that carries the scent of rain also carries light, sound, warmth, and life invisible but essential. Connecting every part of the world, carbon dioxide and oxygen drift in the balance of life. Trees inhale and exhale, plankton photosynthesize, and humans breathe in rhythm with this eternal cycle. Air is alive, not only with motion but with chemistry, silently regulating the conditions that make life possible. You are a participant in this calm, slow exchange. Every breath a quiet testament to planetary harmony. High above, jet streams circle the globe, narrow rivers of air moving faster than the wind below. They guide storms, carry warmth, and balance pressure. Even from the ground, their presence is felt indirectly in weather patterns, in sudden changes, in gentle breezes that shift without warning. The atmosphere has depth, and in that depth, life finds balance, the gentle rustle of leaves, the shimmer of heat on a road, the soft sigh of wind through a valley. These are small but meaningful reminders that the atmosphere touches everything. Nothing exists outside of its embrace. You are wrapped in it now, each breath, each movement, each moment cushioned by invisible, patient air. Lightning is a reminder of energy-seeking release, but even it is a careful, brief, beautiful occurrence. Thunder follows with a soft, rolling echo. Storms are not interruptions. They are part of the planet's ongoing dialogue, a necessary punctuation in the language of the atmosphere. And when clouds finally release rain, droplets fall like tiny gifts from above. Some feed rivers, some seep into soil, some return to the ocean. Every drop is part of a cycle older than memory, slower than thought, more patient than the fastest heartbeat. You are a witness to this cycle, suspended between stone, water, and sky as you lie still, the wind brushing softly against your skin. You realize that the atmosphere carries not only life, but history, memory, and rhythm. From the mountains to the ocean, from the smallest leaf to the highest cloud, air moves patiently, connecting every corner of the planet. Even now, Molecules rise and fall around you, dancing with invisible precision. A choreography older than you can imagine. The atmosphere is a living fabric, one in which your breath, your heartbeat, and your dreams are woven seamlessly. And as you drift into quiet thought, you wonder softly if air remembers. What does the sky dream? Asterisk, asterisk, you leave the comforting blanket of the atmosphere and rise into a quiet so vast it is almost unthinkable. Space is the stillest place you have ever known, yet it is alive in its own way. Its life is subtle, measured in light years, in the slow swirl of galaxies, in the pull of gravity guiding planets in patient arcs. You feel yourself suspended in its calm embrace. Look up, and the stars greet you. Each one is a distant furnace, burning with the same physics that shapes your sun, the same fusion that makes warmth possible. Light travels from these stars across unimaginable distances, taking years, centuries, millennia to reach you. When you see a star twinkle in the night sky, you are seeing its past, a memory traveling through space. Slower than thought, but steady as patience itself. Planets orbit in delicate, invisible tracks, pulled by gravity's invisible hand. Mercury spins quickly. Venus glows in golden heat. Earth dances with moonlit grace. And Mars waits quietly, its red dust unchanging for eons. Each world has its rhythm, a slow perfection that no clock can measure. To float among them is to feel the gentle certainty of motion without haste. The universe expands continuously. Space stretches outward, carrying galaxies along in a motion so slow it is imperceptible to a human lifetime. Yet that stretching is not chaotic. It is ordered, constant, and infinite. Every atom in your body was once part of stars long extinguished. Every particle in the cosmos shares in this patient unfolding. You are a child of that vast, careful creation. Imagine a nebula, a cloud of gas and dust drifting slowly in the void. Stars are born here, but the process is gentle. Atoms collide, gravity coaxes them together, and over millions of years, a star ignites. You do not see the speed of time, you feel its rhythm. This is the patience of creation writ large, a cosmic heartbeat echoing across light years. Black holes, though mysterious and immense, are not violent in the way humans imagine. They bend light, twist space, and hold matter in quiet, perfect control. Their pull is relentless but unhurried, a reminder that gravity is always patient. Even when all seems swallowed, the universe continues its slow, meticulous work, carrying energy and momentum across distances that defy comprehension. Comets glide through space like wandering travelers. Ice, rock, and dust, each carries a history older than the planets themselves. Their paths are arcs of memory, shaped by gravity and time. When they pass near a sun, they bloom into tales of sparkling particles, releasing stories written in the cold darkness. Even fleeting brilliance can be part of eternity. The Milky Way stretches in luminous arcs, billions of stars woven into a cosmic tapestry. And yet, from where you float, it is calm. The galaxy spins slowly, gently, like a celestial carousel that never hurries. Each star, each dust lane, each quiet pocket of space has a purpose, a place in this vast harmony. You begin to understand the quiet mathematics of existence, balance, motion, and space, all coexisting without struggle. Planets and moons hold their own secrets. The ice of Europa, the clouds of Jupiter, the rings of Saturn, each is a record of history, frozen or gaseous, or shining. These are relics of gravity, inertia, and time. They remind you that even in apparent stillness, motion persists. The slow accumulation of forces sculpts beauty across eons. Light years are the units of patience in the universe. When you look at distant galaxies, you are seeing them as they were millions or billions of years ago. Some may no longer exist as you perceive them, yet their light continues its journey, unwavering and steadfast. The cosmos is a story being told at the slowest possible pace, and you are part of the audience, floating silently, receiving its message without effort. Meteor showers are whispers from the heavens. Tiny fragments of rock or ice enter the atmosphere, burning briefly in luminous arcs. Their brilliance is fleeting, yet they have traveled across the solar system for centuries to meet you. In their passage, you feel the enormity of time and distance condensed into a single, soft sparkle. Dark matter and dark energy, though invisible, are the hidden threads holding the universe together. They do not shine, yet their influence shapes the motion of galaxies, the bending of light, the growth of cosmic structure. You may not see them, yet they are everywhere, a gentle, silent reminder that presence does not require noise or flashiness to be profound. Gravity itself is patient. It sculpts the paths of planets, pulls stars into clusters, keeps galaxies bound. Its work is slow, consistent, and invisible, yet nothing in the universe escapes it. Even your smallest movement is shaped by gravity's quiet insistence, connecting you to planets, stars, and unseen galaxies beyond. Time in space feels different. Without atmosphere to carry sound, without wind to move clouds, there is no hurry. Planets orbit, stars shine, galaxies drift, but all on their own schedule, untethered from the urgency humans feel. You float in this rhythm, learning the patience of infinity, where nothing is wasted and everything moves in its appointed time. Solar winds sweep particles across the solar system. Invisible and gentle, they push comets, shape magnetic fields, and carry whispers from the sun outward. Each proton is a tiny messenger, a fragment of energy traveling with grace and speed, reminding you that even the smallest part of the cosmos has its role, its journey, its story. Pulsars blink in steady rhythm, lighthouses in the dark. Their spins mark time precisely, untiring, unbroken. Even in the quiet, you sense the pulse of the cosmos, a rhythm older than memory, connecting distant stars to one another in a lattice of time and motion. Exoplanets orbit stars, light years away, unseen yet real. Each is a potential world, a possibility, a reminder that creation is vast and patient. Life may exist elsewhere or not. Either way, the cosmos continues its slow expansion, indifferent to rush, careful in its unfolding. Time is not rushing. You feel it stretch and bend like a river moving through the cosmos, flowing past stars, planets, and galaxies. Each second carries within it echoes of events older than imagination, and yet, in this moment, you are suspended, resting in its patient current. The universe itself is ancient, but not hurried. From the first spark of the Big Bang, time has been unfolding steadily, like a careful breath. Galaxies formed, stars ignited, planets coalesced, all over spans so vast they are impossible to grasp fully. And yet, this immense story is composed of tiny, intimate moments, each building on the last, quiet and deliberate. Think of a star. Its life is measured in millions or billions of years. It is born from a cloud of gas and dust, compressed by gravity, igniting nuclear fusion at its heart. For most of its life, it burns steadily, calmly, a distant sun illuminating the passage of eons. Even when it dies in nova, supernova, or gentle fading, it leaves behind beauty and matter for the next generation of stars. Nothing is wasted. Everything transforms. Your own life is a ripple in this vast ocean of time. Each breath, each heartbeat is both fleeting and eternal, a tiny echo of the universe's slow, deliberate rhythm. The seconds you measure are like tiny grains of sand, but together they form the dunes of experience. Shaped over the landscapes of memory and imagination, time is layered. Just as the earth holds geologic memory, and water carries the history of mountains and clouds, the cosmos preserves its past in light. When you look at a star, you are seeing it as it was, not as it is. The photons reaching your eyes have traveled for millennia, carrying a message older than human thought, a gentle reminder that the present is always entwined with the past. Consider light itself. Its speed is fast, yet measured against cosmic distances, it is slow. It takes years, even billions of years, for light to reach us from the farthest corners of the universe. Each ray is a traveler, patient, precise, unwavering, and you, simply by opening your eyes, become a witness to its journey. Time also flows differently depending on perspective. Near massive objects like stars or black holes, it bends. This is Einstein's quiet gift, that time is not uniform, but elastic, shaped by gravity and motion. In some places, moments stretch, while elsewhere they condense. The universe allows for these gentle variations, a reminder that time is flexible, accommodating, and kind. History is written in patterns. The orbits of planets, the spins of galaxies, the rise and fall of stars, all carry temporal memory. Cosmic rhythms emerge naturally. Day and night, seasons, tides, the oscillation of light waves. Even chaos, when observed across vast spans, reveals patterns. In this, there is a calm precision, a certainty that existence is orderly, even when it seems random. You may imagine the first moments of the universe. A hot, dense point expanded, matter cooled, and the seeds of structure were sown. Galaxies formed, and gravity began its slow sculpting of stars and planets. Time itself was young, stretching its first limbs, yet moving steadily. This thought, though almost beyond comprehension, feels like a lullaby, the universe breathing itself awake. Now consider entropy. It is the gentle unfolding of order into disorder, inevitable yet slow. Stars burn fuel, planets weather and erode, ice melts, rivers flow. But this process is neither cruel nor hurried. It is simply time performing its patient, impartial work, a steady rhythm that allows life, change, and renewal to exist. You can see time in the cycles of life. On Earth, seasons return, tides ebb and flow, organisms grow and fade. These cycles echo the larger cosmic patterns, tiny reflections of eons of celestial rhythm. Your own breathing mirrors these cycles, a personal tide within a universal sea. Galactic collisions, though violent over millions of years, unfold slowly. Stars rarely meet, but gravity gently nudges galaxies together, forming new shapes, new possibilities. Time in the universe is both generous and meticulous. There is no rush, only steady unfolding. You float within this cadence, feeling the calm certainty of continuity. Black holes remind you of time's elasticity. Near their immense gravity, seconds stretch, minutes become hours, hours become eons. Yet even there, time flows. Matter is drawn in, energy is redistributed, and the cosmos continues its patient dance. The universe is not static, it bends, moves, transforms, but always with quiet dignity. Even on smaller scales, time is remarkable. The decay of atoms, the shifting of tectonic plates, the slow movement of ocean currents, all are microcosms of cosmic patience. You begin to see that time is everywhere, not as a line to measure, but as a medium in which existence unfolds gracefully. Your thoughts drift now like cosmic dust. You feel the vastness of temporal scales, yet also the intimacy of your own awareness. Seconds are small but meaningful. Minutes accumulate. Years fold into decades. Eons stretch in silence. You are a thread woven into the infinite fabric of time, neither hurried nor lost, just present. Memory itself is temporal. The universe holds memories in light, in orbits, in chemical signatures. Even you are part of this archive. Every action leaves a mark, subtle or profound, a contribution to the ongoing story. In resting now, you join the quiet preservation of existence, a witness to both the transient and the eternal. Time is relational. Past shapes present, present shapes future. Yet the universe does not demand urgency. Stars will shine for billions of years. Galaxies will rotate and merge in patience. Matter will cycle, energy will flow. All occurs in its own rhythm, never rushed, never wasted. There is profound comfort in this steadiness. Think of cosmic background radiation, the faint glow from the early universe, still detectable today. It is a whisper from the dawn of time, traveling unbroken across the cosmos. You are enveloped in that whisper, a listener to the oldest story imaginable, cradled in the gentle flow of moments that predate life itself. And as you float within this awareness, you realize that time is not an enemy, not a thief. It is a current, a rhythm, a steady hand guiding all existence. Your life, your breath, your sleep, these are all part of that current, intimate threads in the tapestry of cosmic patience. Even now, moments pass gently around you, as they always have, as they always will. You feel connected to stars, to planets, to oceans, to mountains, to molecules. Every tick of the clock is a gift, every exhale a whisper of cosmic continuity. And as you settle into quiet thought, the universe hums softly. If stars remember, if light travels, if galaxies drift, what gentle secrets might time itself hold beyond your reach? Asterisk, asterisk, you lie still, letting the universe of your mind unfold. Consciousness is like the night sky, vast, layered, and quiet. Thoughts drift like stars, appearing, fading, shimmering, but never pressing. You are aware, yet peaceful, observing each thought as it passes through the soft space of your awareness. The brain itself is astonishingly gentle in its complexity. Billions of neurons communicate through subtle electrical pulses, sending signals at speeds slower than you might imagine. Each pulse is like a ripple on a calm pond, small, deliberate, and interconnected. Consciousness arises from this quiet dance, an emergent melody created from the patient rhythm of countless micro-moments. Breathing anchors you in this inner universe. Each inhale brings oxygen to your cells, a quiet reminder that life is maintained in the smallest and most elegant of ways. Each exhale releases tension, a gentle letting go, a subtle shaping of your internal environment. The rhythm of breath mirrors the rhythm of the cosmos, steady, patient, endless. Sleep itself is a journey. As your body rests, your mind enters cycles of non-REM and REM stages. Non-REM sleep is slow and restorative, a quiet maintenance of body and mind. REM sleep is where dreams emerge, vivid and imaginative, blending memory, desire, and creativity. Your mind is never idle. It moves, folds, and weaves, silently stitching together experiences. Dreams are like clouds drifting through a night sky. Some are soft and diffuse, others bright and structured, yet all move with grace and purpose. They are your consciousness exploring possibilities, testing scenarios, weaving together fragments of reality with imagination. Nothing in dreams is urgent. Everything is patient, malleable, fluid. Memory plays a subtle role in this landscape. Neurons store traces of experience, shifting and strengthening during sleep. This is why dreams often feel familiar yet strange. Your brain is quietly integrating the events of the day, reorganizing and processing them in a calm, methodical way. Sleep is not a pause, but a gentle continuation of life's ongoing rhythm. Even the neurons, tiny chemical exchanges, are poetry in motion. Neurotransmitters, dopamine, serotonin, GABA, carry messages slowly, deliberately, shaping perception and mood. Your conscious experience emerges from these soft chemical pulses, a symphony orchestrated invisibly, without hurry, without notice. Thoughts themselves are fluid. One idea appears, then folds into another. Memories rise like bubbles from the depths, expanding briefly before merging with newer images. You are aware of this flow, yet you do not control it. You observe, allowing your mind to drift, like a boat on a placid lake. The effortlessness of observation itself is a kind of meditation. Sensory perception continues in quiet ways even as you rest. The brain processes the faintest sounds, the light filtering through eyelids, the subtle movements of air around you. Consciousness is never truly off. It softens, turns inward, like the ocean retreating at low tide. Always present but calm, always moving but slow. The body and mind are intertwined in this process. Heart rate slows, muscles relax, temperature regulates gently. These physical rhythms provide a foundation for consciousness, a subtle scaffolding upon which the mind can wander safely. You are held by your own physiology, secure and patient, a vessel for thought and dream. Imagination and memory overlap in fascinating ways. You may recall an image from years past, then feel it morphed into something entirely new. Your brain does not differentiate sharply between memory and invention during dreams. Both are currents in the same river. This fluidity is meditative, showing you that reality itself is flexible, crafted from countless small signals flowing through time. Sleep cycles are rhythmic. Non-REM stages deepen gradually, your mind descending into restorative quiet. REM stages rise with soft intensity, bringing color, narrative, and movement to your inner world. Each cycle lasts roughly 90 minutes, repeating several times a night. The repetition itself is soothing, a built-in metronome of biology, guiding your consciousness gently through night's passage. Neuroplasticity is at work even now. The connections in your brain shift subtly, strengthening some, pruning others. You are becoming even as you rest. Sleep is the laboratory of self, a patient and silent workshop where the mind repairs, strengthens, and adapts. In this, there is an astonishing calm, a reminder that change is slow, steady, and entirely natural. Lucid dreams show the mind's flexibility. With gentle attention, you may notice you are dreaming while dreaming, becoming aware of the narrative as it unfolds. Yet even this awareness is soft and patient, not a command, but an invitation. The mind offers endless possibility, and you move through it as though floating on warm, calm water. Even when sleep is interrupted, the brain adapts. Micro-awakenings are not failures, but subtle adjustments, like tiny course corrections on a long journey. Consciousness itself is resilient, flowing through interruptions without anxiety, without urgency. You are always part of the process, a quiet participant in a much larger, patient system. The body's circadian rhythm orchestrates these cycles. Hormones rise and fall, signaling sleepiness, alertness, restoration. Melatonin drifts through your bloodstream, guiding you into darkness. Cortisol prepares you for awakening. Your biochemistry moves like a slow river, unhurried, persistent, unbroken. Each molecule plays its role in a patient symphony. Sensory memory remains active in dreams. Smells, sounds, touches, and tastes may appear in altered form, reminding you of your connection to the external world. The brain folds these perceptions gently into inner narratives, blending reality with imagination in ways that feel natural, effortless, serene, and yet, consciousness is more than a collection of neurons, cycles, and chemicals. It is awareness itself, the quiet observer, the gentle witness to everything that arises and fades. You float in this awareness, letting thoughts drift past without clinging, letting dreams rise and fall like tide against a shore. As you sink deeper into this meditative state, you realize that your mind mirrors the universe. Thoughts are like galaxies, drifting, colliding, forming clusters. Dreams are nebulae, glowing with possibility. Consciousness is the night sky itself, vast, calm, patient, and infinite. And as the night stretches around you, you wonder softly if the mind can dream. What gentle mysteries lie in the silence between thoughts? Asterisk, asterisk, you settle into stillness, noticing your breath, the subtle rise and fall of your chest, the gentle beating of your heart. Awareness is not something you must create, it already exists. Quietly, like the ocean beneath waves, like the night sky beyond clouds. You simply notice. The first thing you realize is that presence is patient. It does not hurry. It does not push or pull. You do not need to fix anything. Consciousness, the soft observer within, is simply here, calmly registering sensations, thoughts, and the passage of time. You feel safe in this stillness. Each breath becomes a guide. Inhale slowly, noticing how air fills your lungs, then exhale gently, releasing tension without effort. Your awareness travels with the breath, moving inward and outward, tracing the rhythm of life itself. Every cycle is precise yet relaxed, like the pendulum of a clock that swings without anxiety, marking time softly. The body carries you through presence. Muscles relax, the jaw softens, shoulders drop. Each part of you is aware of the others, a gentle network of sensations. The feet rest upon the floor or mattress, the skin feels the touch of air, and warmth radiates quietly from the center of your being. Awareness is a soft lamp illuminating every subtle detail. Notice how sound reaches you. The hum of the world persists. Distant cars, a soft breeze, the faint rustle of leaves. Yet these are not distractions. They are reminders of life continuing, a rhythmic backdrop to your stillness. You listen without judgment, letting sound drift through you like a gentle river. Even thought itself can be observed in this space. Ideas rise like clouds, float for a moment, and drift away. You do not need to follow them. You do not need to analyze or react. Awareness watches with patience, allowing each thought its own life and then releasing it back into quiet. This is presence, the steady observer, unmoved by movement, calm amid motion. Sensory perception deepens. You feel the weight of your body against the surface supporting you. You sense temperature, texture, pressure. Every sensation is noted without urgency, without distraction. Awareness rests in the fullness of now, experiencing without clinging, without resistance. The nervous system itself mirrors this calm. The parasympathetic branch, responsible for rest and repair, slows your heart rate, softens your breathing, and relaxes internal organs. You are physiologically attuned to this quiet. Presence and biology move together in harmony, a gentle orchestration without effort. Time in awareness feels different. Seconds stretch softly, yet do not weigh. There is no rush. Past and future fade into the background, leaving only this moment, deep, infinite, and completely sufficient. You rest here as the universe continues its vast, patient motion outside your body. Awareness does not resist sensations of discomfort. If tension arises, you notice it, breathe into it, and allow it to soften. Even minor aches or stiffness are included, welcomed, and observed. Nothing is rejected. Presence accepts all that is, teaching patience and compassion toward yourself. The mind, when quiet, allows creativity and insight to emerge naturally. Ideas drift up gently from the depths, unforced and unhurried. Even in stillness, there is motion, a subtle flow of energy, a soft intelligence weaving through your awareness. This is consciousness at ease, capable of both rest and subtle, gentle expansion. Presence also connects you to the world beyond your skin. Your breath moves air molecules, your heartbeat sends ripples through the body. The ground or mattress beneath you carries your weight, supporting you without effort. Awareness senses this interconnection, a reminder that you are never separate, yet entirely at rest within yourself. Even silence has texture. In the absence of sound, you notice small vibrations, the faint hum of life, the soft expansion and contraction of lungs, the imperceptible pulse of blood. Silence is not emptiness. It is presence, full and active in its own subtle way, containing richness and depth beyond words. Meditative awareness allows for gentle reflection. You may recall a memory or envision a possibility, and yet your presence does not cling. Each thought is observed like a leaf drifting on a stream, carried by the flow, recognized and released without effort. There is freedom here and a profound calm. The nervous system, mind, and awareness are all connected in cycles. Sleep, rest, dreaming, and wakefulness are threads of the same pattern. Even now, as you rest in awareness, your body and brain continue repair, growth, and integration. Presence observes this work quietly, with no need to intervene. Honoring the slow intelligence of the body and mind, notice the subtleties of posture, the position of your head, the softness of your shoulders, the relaxed placement of your hands. Awareness allows you to adjust gently if needed, without urgency, noticing changes as part of the continuum of presence. Each small movement becomes part of the meditative rhythm. Thoughts about time or productivity can drift in. Observe them without attachment. Let them float past like clouds in a calm sky. Awareness does not judge. It simply witnesses. This is the paradox of presence, fully alive and attentive, yet utterly relaxed, patient, and non-interfering. The heart, lungs, and nervous system continue their gentle rhythm. You feel yourself aligned with this inner current, synchronized with the steady beat of life itself. Awareness is a soft observer of this movement, neither forcing nor resisting. You are held in the patient intelligence of your own body. Even the act of noticing is itself a meditation. Every breath, every sensation, every thought you witness contributes to the richness of this calm space. Awareness is both active and restful, a gentle balance between attention and surrender, motion and stillness. You are not striving. You are simply present. You exist fully in this moment, grounded, calm, and attuned. Presence does not require accomplishment. Its value is intrinsic, woven into the fabric of your body, mind, and the world surrounding you. As you rest in awareness, the line between observer and observed softens. You feel the quiet unity of being consciousness touching itself, sensing its own depth, resting in the gentle, patient flow of life. This is the true rhythm of presence, effortless, vast, and intimately yours. And as your mind softens, the gentle hum of awareness lingers. If presence can hold time, if attention can float freely, what subtle wisdom might still be resting in the quiet spaces between breaths? **** Calm is not absence. It is a subtle presence, a soft current beneath the flow of thought and sensation. You feel it now, moving slowly through your body, through your mind, threading together the rhythm of breath, heartbeat, and quiet observation. It is a gentle river of stillness, unhurried and reliable. The nervous system responds immediately. Your parasympathetic branch takes over, signaling the body to relax. Heart rate slows, muscles release tension, digestion continues softly, and the mind eases. Even your cells participate, quieting their activity and conserving energy, performing maintenance in silent precision. Calm is not an act of will. It is the natural state when effort is not required. Breathing deepens and lengthens. You notice the subtle rise and fall of your chest and abdomen. Each inhale carries oxygen to every corner of your body. Each exhale releases the accumulated weight of thought, stress, and expectation. Breathing is both anchor and lullaby, the gentle bridge between consciousness and sleep. Sleep is orchestrated by circadian rhythm, a patient internal clock attuned to light, temperature, and hormonal cues. Melatonin rises as darkness falls, preparing you for rest. Cortisol decreases, reducing alertness and tension. Your body follows this quiet signal with trust, knowing that cycles of activity and rest are both essential and natural, even as you drift closer to sleep. The brain remains active in subtle ways. Slow-wave sleep repairs neurons, strengthens memory, and clears metabolic waste. REM sleep fosters creativity, weaves dreams, and maintains emotional balance. Sleep is not emptiness but an intricate symphony of restoration, choreography performed silently, unseen, yet essential. Your mind softens. Thoughts appear gently, then dissolve. Dreams may arise like delicate clouds drifting across a night sky. They are fragments of memory, emotion, and imagination, woven together by the brain in ways that are purposeful yet effortless. You do not need to control them. You only need to allow them to float past, noticing without interference. Calm permeates even the smallest scales. Heartbeat pulses in quiet rhythm. Blood flows softly, carrying nutrients and oxygen. Neurons fire with precise timing, chemical signals moving slowly, deliberately. You are a living system, working in harmony with yourself, your environment, and the quiet rhythms of the planet and cosmos beyond. The science of sleep demonstrates remarkable patience. Sleep cycles repeat in roughly 90-minute intervals, alternating between deep non-REM sleep and lighter REM stages. Your body transitions smoothly between stages, each phase supporting recovery, learning, and balance. Even interruptions are corrected gracefully, as your system nudges itself back into restorative rhythm without alarm or strain. Temperature regulation contributes to calm. Your body releases heat, lowering core temperature to encourage deeper sleep. Skin warms as blood redistributes gently. These subtle shifts remind you that the body works silently, patiently for your well-being, even as you rest and release control. Neurotransmitters continue their gentle dance. GABA quiets neural activity, serotonin maintains balance, and dopamine adjusts subtly. Each molecule acts with precision, guiding mood, awareness, and sleepiness. You are immersed in this delicate chemistry, yet unaware, floating peacefully in its effects. Environmental cues also shape calm. Soft darkness, gentle sounds, and comfortable surfaces provide reassurance. The brain interprets these signals, easing vigilance and encouraging surrender. The body and mind are naturally responsive, designed to move from activity to rest with patience and grace. Even heart rate variability is part of this gentle rhythm. Subtle fluctuations indicate healthy balance between sympathetic and parasympathetic systems. Each pulse is a small meditation, a reminder that life persists, steady and reliable. In the quiet and unobserved. Dreams are not random. They are the brain's way of organizing experience. During REM, patterns of memory, emotion, and sensory information weave together. You may float through fantastical landscapes, relive fragments of days past, or explore new scenarios entirely. In dreams, your consciousness practices flexibility, creativity, and adaptation, all in quiet service of your well-being. Awareness can exist alongside dreams. Even when the mind wanders, there is a soft, underlying presence, a gentle observation that notices the passing of thoughts and images without clinging. This presence is like a quiet anchor, allowing the river of sleep to flow without turbulence. The body repairs itself silently during sleep. Proteins are synthesized, muscles recover, tissues heal. The immune system strengthens, and cells remove metabolic waste. Sleep is both a shield and a workshop, a process of continuous restoration unfolding slowly, patiently, beneath your awareness. Environmental rhythms, the cycle of day and night, the ebb of tides, the patterns of temperature and light support this calm. You are in harmony with these natural cycles, embedded in the wider context of planetary rhythms. Even as the world continues around you, your body and mind follow their own patient, ordered flow. Neuroscience shows that rest also promotes emotional balance. Amygdala activity decreases, prefrontal cortex activity adjusts, and stress responses are moderated. Sleep allows the brain to integrate experience without hurry, without judgment, providing clarity and resilience upon waking. Calm is both a state and a process, self-maintaining and restorative. As you drift, attention fades gently. The observer within begins to dissolve into the experience itself. You are no longer separate from the breath, the heartbeat, the gentle movement of consciousness. Presence, calm, and sleep merge into a unified field of quiet, effortless being. Even the smallest detail becomes part of the meditative rhythm. The soft rise of a chest, the faint rustle of air, the subtle warmth of the body, all these are threads in the fabric of calm. Nothing is rushed, nothing is forced. Each moment unfolds in exact proportion to what is needed. In the deepest sense, sleep is a conversation with life itself. The body, mind, and consciousness engage in cycles that are patient, precise, and harmonious. You are participating without effort, supported by the natural intelligence of your physiology, the patterns of the world, and the expansive rhythms of the cosmos. And as you drift into the soft, unbroken quiet of restorative sleep, you feel the gentle flow of calm everywhere in the body, in the mind, in the world around you. It carries you fully, safely, into rest. And tonight, as you surrender completely, you wonder softly if the universe moves in patient cycles. If your mind flows with gentle rhythms, what mysteries will unfold in the quiet space of sleep? You lie quietly, feeling the firmness of the ground beneath you. It is solid yet patient, an old friend that has existed long before you and will remain long after. The earth is alive in a slow, deliberate way, shaped over eons by processes that are too gradual to notice, yet always in motion. You are part of this story simply by existing here, in this moment. In touch with stone and soil, rocks are the storytellers of time. Each layer, each grain, is a word in an ancient language written across centuries. Igneous rocks were born from fire, hardened from molten magma, with a slow patience that no human eye could follow. Sedimentary rocks formed from fragments carried by rivers and wind, compacted gently, layer upon layer, as if the earth were carefully writing its memoir. Mountains rise as if in slow celebration. Tectonic plates shift imperceptibly beneath your feet, pushing land upward in rhythms measured in millimeters per year. You do not see them move, yet they create valleys and peaks, ridges and cliffs, shaping the earth's surface with quiet persistence. There is grace in this slow motion, a patient creativity unfolding over eons. Erosion carves its own poetry. Water drifts, wind brushes, ice grinds. Over millennia, these forces sculpt landscapes with quiet patience. Valleys deepen, rivers meander, cliffs crumble, and sand travels endlessly. The processes are subtle, almost imperceptible, yet relentless. Nothing hurries, nothing resists. Everything transforms in its own perfect time. Consider crystals forming inside rocks. Minerals grow with astonishing patience, arranging themselves into ordered patterns invisible to the casual eye. Their beauty is not hurried, nor is it fragile. Crystals remind you that even the smallest parts of the earth participate in this long, careful dance of formation. Fossils are whispers of lifelong past, buried gently in sediment, preserved through pressure and mineral exchange. They offer a story to the patient observer. Every bone, shell, and leaf embedded in rock is a message from deep time, reminding you that the earth has been nurturing life for millions of years. Volcanoes carry both fire and patience. Lava flows slowly, cooling into new stone, reshaping the land. They are both creators and destroyers, but always with rhythm and purpose. Even the explosive eruptions are part of a larger story, a slow sculpting of Earth's surface over ages. You feel the heat of imagination, the gentle pulse of geological change through this quiet knowledge. Rivers are the Earth's veins. They carry water, sediment, and nutrients across vast landscapes. Over centuries, they carve canyons, deposit fertile soil, and connect mountains to oceans. You imagine tracing a single drop of water from a high spring, watching it tumble over stones, reflect sunlight, and journey endlessly. Its path is slow yet sure, like a thought drifting through consciousness. Glaciers creep patiently across landscapes. Ice flows, grinding rocks beneath, leaving striations, valleys, and lakes in its wake. A glacier's movement is deliberate and silent, a frozen river of time. The slow weight of ice shapes mountains, smooths valleys, and carries with it memories of millennia. Sediments speak in gradients, from coarse grains to fine powder. Wind carries dust from deserts to distant lands. Rivers deposit silt in delta plains. Oceans accumulate shells into limestone. Each particle is part of a slow, patient story, a continuum that links oceans, mountains, rivers, and life itself. Earthquakes are subtle reminders of tectonic patience. Plates shift, pressure builds, and energy is released in a brief instant. While sudden to us, this is part of the slow, ongoing motion of the planet, a reminder that change is inevitable and natural. Measured across scales of millennia, not moments, caves form quietly, shaped by water dripping and dissolving rock over centuries. Stalactites and stalagmites grow millimeter by millimeter, patiently decorating the dark spaces beneath the earth. They are monuments to persistence, a gentle reminder that beauty can take time to emerge. The soil beneath you is alive with transformation. Organic matter decays, minerals break down, microbes and roots interact, a subtle chemistry that sustains life. Each handful of soil is a record of cycles, of birth and decay, of water, air, and minerals mingling with patient efficiency. You feel your connection to this vast network, part of the slow choreography of Earth. Even mountains eventually wear away. Rock becomes sand, sand becomes sediment, sediment becomes stone again. The Earth recycles itself in an endless loop, without hurry or complaint. There is a calm inevitability in this process, a rhythm you can feel in your own breathing, slow, measured, eternal. Eternal dot, imagine tracing a single grain of sand. It may have originated from a mountain, traveled by river to a delta, carried by wind to a desert, and finally resting beneath you. It has participated in processes that span continents and epochs. You are part of this continuum, a conscious witness to the patience of the planet. Earth's magnetic field, generated by molten iron deep below, shields you gently from cosmic radiation. It shifts slowly, poles wander over millennia, yet it always persists, quietly protecting life. This unseen, patient force reminds you that even invisible processes contribute to the harmony of the world. Minerals, rocks, and landforms are not static. Even in apparent stillness, atoms vibrate, minerals recrystallize, mountains erode imperceptibly. Change is constant, subtle, and gentle, a slow unfolding of matter across time. You notice the harmony of this, feeling a soft connection to a world older than you can imagine. Even fossils embedded in stone tell of patience. Shells, bones, and leaves captured in rock are snapshots of ancient life, reminders that the earth preserves memory. You imagine the animals, the plants, the rivers, and the winds that existed long before humans, and you feel a quiet reverence for these patient processes. Geology is the study of patience itself. The earth grows, erodes, shifts, and transforms on scales beyond comprehension. Yet in this slow motion, there is rhythm, elegance, and predictability. Mountains, rivers, glaciers, and soils all participate in the grand choreography of the planet. You notice your own breath mimics these rhythms. Rise and fall, slow and steady, connecting you to tides, winds, and currents of molten rock deep beneath. The earth and your body move together in quiet harmony, a gentle dialogue of matter, energy, and time. Even earthquakes, though abrupt, fit into the patient narrative of the planet. They are sudden notes in a symphony of slow shifts and pressures, part of a larger movement that has existed long before your awareness. In their tremor, you sense the depth and resilience of the earth. And as you settle further, letting the weight of the planet beneath you anchor your body, you feel the patient heartbeat of stone and soil. Mountains may rise, rivers may carve valleys, glaciers may advance, and yet all happens in quiet balance, a rhythm older than thought. And tonight, as you rest in this vast, slow-moving world, you wonder softly if stones remember, if rivers hold stories. What will the earth whisper to you next, in the calm of sleep? **** Dreams begin quietly, like mist forming on the surface of thought. You drift inward, crossing the threshold between wakefulness and sleep. And somewhere within that descent, the world begins to shimmer and rearrange itself. Patterns of sound, memory, and feeling become landscapes. You are both the traveler and the terrain. Your brain is not resting. It is reconfiguring itself. During REM sleep, neurons fire in rhythmic bursts, creating vivid imagery and emotion. The visual cortex awakens even though your eyes are closed. The limbic system stirs with feeling, while the prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for logic and control, softens its grip. What remains is a mind freed to create without boundaries. Every dream is a small experiment in consciousness. The mind replays fragments of memory, but not as simple recall. It rearranges and blends them. A person from yesterday's conversation might appear in an ancient city, or a bird might speak with the voice of a friend. In this landscape, association becomes art. You drift through this world without moving. Your physical body is deeply still, muscles paralyzed by design, a natural safeguard of REM sleep. Yet within, your mind travels through entire galaxies of imagination. You feel the strange freedom of weightlessness, where every law of waking reality is suspended. Dreaming is not random. Neuroscientists believe it helps process emotions, consolidate memories, and rehearse future challenges. When you dream of running, flying, or falling, your brain is integrating both experience and instinct, mapping possibilities across neural pathways, refining reactions without real risk. There are cycles even within dreams. REM periods grow longer through the night, allowing more time for stories to unfold. Early dreams may be fragments, gentle sketches. Later dreams deepen, layering color and meaning. The brain is not just replaying life, it's reorganizing it, connecting threads into patterns of insight. Sometimes dreams borrow from your senses. The faint sound of rain might become a waterfall in your dream. A blanket's pressure might transform into the weight of ocean water. External stimuli weave softly into the narrative, becoming part of the dream's gentle illusion. You are both author and audience. You build the world as you walk through it, each detail arising in the instant of attention. A door appears when you look for one. A landscape shifts when you decide to move. Dreaming is consciousness painting. Reality in real time, fluid, imaginative, and unhurried. REM, rapid eye movement, is the visible rhythm of this inner theater. Your closed eyes flicker as the brain watches its own visions. Heart rate rises slightly. Breathing becomes irregular, matching the drama of the imagined scenes. Yet beneath it all, the parasympathetic system keeps the body safe and calm. Dreams can be emotional release. Grief, joy, fear, hope, all move freely here. The mind explores feelings that waking life resists, giving them space to transform. You may wake lighter not because the dream was forgotten, but because its work was done silently. Without your conscious effort, lucid dreaming, the awareness that you are dreaming, occurs. When parts of the prefrontal cortex awaken slightly during REM, in this state, you can navigate the dream world intentionally, observing its logic and flow. Some find it meditative, others exhilarating, the mind exploring its own architecture with clarity and wonder. Even when you forget a dream, its traces remain. Neural pathways have been rehearsed, emotional weights adjusted, and connections reinforced. Forgetting is not loss, it is integration. The content dissolves, but the effect remains, subtly shaping how you think and feel upon waking. Across cultures and centuries, dreams have been regarded as messages, prophecies, or art, yet science shows their true wonder lies not in prediction, but in processing a nightly dialogue between memory and meaning. The brain is both scientist and poet, experimenting with reality in silence. In dreams, time behaves differently. Minutes can stretch into hours, or entire lives can unfold between two heartbeats. This distortion reflects how memory stitches together moments, not as continuous film, but as flickering frames joined by association. Dream time flows like a river without clocks. You might find yourself flying, swimming through air, or walking through walls. The body knows it cannot, yet the dreaming brain allows it, rehearsing the feeling of freedom. These imagined acts may even stimulate the same motor regions used in waking movement, proving that thought and action share the same silent language. The amygdala, guardian of emotion, is active in dreams. It colors the landscape with feeling wonder, nostalgia, fear, or awe. Even unsettling dreams serve a purpose. They help desensitize the mind to stress, preparing you for the waking world. Every dream, pleasant or strange, is the mind's gentle rehearsal for living. Memory fragments surface like shells in shallow water. You see a familiar place, but it feels different. You speak words that seem ancient. The dream mixes details from multiple sources, sensory traces, emotions, ideas, into something coherent yet impossible. It is the art of recombination, the science of association. As morning nears, REM cycles lengthen. The boundaries between dream and wake blur. You drift in and out of the images, sensing your body again, hearing distant sounds, but still half lost in color and movement. The brain is easing its way back into wakefulness, as gently as it entered rest. The final dream of the night often mirrors what you will feel upon waking, a soft transition, a narrative that invites closure without ending. Sometimes you are walking toward light, or watching dawn spread across a landscape. Sometimes you simply float, aware of nothing but calm. Dreams, like geological time, follow their own patient rhythm. They shape you slowly, invisibly, until one day you awaken with new understanding, as though a landscape inside you has shifted. The terrain of the mind, like that of the earth, is sculpted not by force, but by time and flow. And as you rest deeper into the quiet after dreaming, You begin to sense another layer, not just dreams, but the awareness that dreams themselves are part of something larger, a continuous unfolding of consciousness. And tonight, as you drift further inward, you wonder softly if the mind can dream while asleep. Could the universe itself be dreaming, imagining us into being one patient breath at a time? Asterisk, asterisk, you float between thought and silence, between breath and eternity. The dream fades, and what remains is vastness, a deep dark calm that stretches in all directions. It is not emptiness. It is fullness beyond comprehension. You are suspended within the universe, cradled by invisible forces that hold everything in place. Above you, stars shine with light that has traveled for millions of years to reach your eyes. Each photon is a messenger from the past, carrying a story of birth, fusion, and distance. The nearest star beyond the Sun, Proxima Centauri, is over 4 light-years away. When you gaze at starlight, you are seeing history, an echo of events long completed. The universe is patient beyond measure. It began roughly 13.8 billion years ago with the Big Bang, not an explosion, but an expansion, a soft unfolding of space itself. From that moment, hydrogen and helium formed, then stars, galaxies, and planets. Everything that exists, every mountain, ocean, and heartbeat, was once part of that same cosmic breath. You were made of that ancient matter. The carbon in your body, the iron in your blood, the calcium in your bones, all were forged in stars. When massive stars died, they scattered their elements into space, seeding new systems. Every cell in you carries the quiet signature of stellar evolution. You are, quite literally, the dust of stars reorganized into awareness. Galaxies drift through space like luminous islands. The Milky Way, your home, spans about 100,000 light-years across, containing hundreds of billions of stars. Between them lies interstellar dust, clouds of gas, and quiet voids. Gravity holds everything in balance, yet nothing is fixed. Even galaxies themselves move, merge, and evolve with cosmic patience. The night sky appears still, but it is alive with motion. Stars orbit galactic centers, planets dance around stars, and light bends through the curvature of space-time. Every photon curves slightly as it passes a massive object, a subtle reminder that even light listens to gravity's whisper. Space itself is expanding. Galaxies are not flying through emptiness. The fabric of space between them is stretching. The more distant a galaxy, the faster it appears to recede. This expansion is steady and silent, driven by what scientists call dark energy, an unseen force that makes up most of the universe. Its nature is still a mystery, a question whispered through every telescope. You are floating in this quiet mystery. The same laws that guide galaxies also guide atoms within you. Electrons orbit nuclei as planets orbit stars, bound by invisible forces, precise and elegant. Scale changes, but pattern remains, spirals, orbits, and rhythms repeating across magnitude. The cosmic background radiation, a faint microwave glow, is the universe's oldest light, the afterglow of creation. It fills all space, a soft, nearly uniform hum. Every radio telescope listening to it hears the same gentle static, a memory of the universe's first breath. Even in the silence of space, there is sound, a low, eternal vibration. Nebulae are the gardens of stars. Vast clouds of dust and gas collapse under gravity, igniting new suns. Within these glowing regions, planets begin to form, circling their newborn stars. The process is slow, spanning millions of years, yet never ceasing. Creation, it seems, is not a moment but a rhythm, always repeating. Time, too, behaves differently here. Near a black hole, gravity bends space-time so dramatically that seconds stretch into eternity. The closer you approach, the slower time moves. What feels like a moment for you could be centuries elsewhere. The cosmos is not bound by uniform rhythm. It flows and folds with grace and complexity. Black holes are not emptiness, but intense concentration. Regions where matter collapses into a single point. They anchor galaxies, influencing stars and light around them. Even they are not eternal. They slowly evaporate through Hawking radiation, whispering energy back into the universe. Nothing, not even darkness, lasts forever. Beyond galaxies, clusters form vast cosmic webs, filaments of matter stretching across billions of light years. Between these filaments lie great voids, expanses nearly empty, yet balanced. The universe, seen from afar, resembles a neural network. Connections, gaps, signals, and silence. Perhaps the cosmos is thinking in patterns far slower than we can perceive. Cosmic rays drift endlessly through space. They are high-energy travelers, born from distant supernova, moving across galaxies for millions of years before brushing against the Earth's atmosphere. Each second, countless such particles pass through your body, unnoticed, harmless, yet connecting you to the farthest stars. You are not outside the universe. You are inside it, inseparable from its flow. Your thoughts, your breath, your dreams are small eddies in the great current of existence. Awareness itself is the universe reflecting on its own nature. When you gaze into the stars are, in some small way, gazing back through you. The concept of infinity is not just vastness, but continuity. The cosmos expands not into something, but into itself, space, making more space. There is no center, no edge, only endless unfolding. You can feel this in your breathing, expansion and release, rhythm without beginning or end. Light travels, but it also fades. The farther it moves, the more it stretches, cooling as the universe expands. Someday, far in the future, stars will exhaust their fuel, galaxies will dim, and only faint radiation will remain. Yet even this is not an end, merely a transformation. The cosmos resting between breaths. Astronomers call it heat death, a distant calm where all energy is evenly spread. But perhaps, like sleep, it is only a pause, a long, deep rest before another beginning. The universe too may dream of itself, cycling endlessly between birth and stillness. Every star you see tonight carries not just light, but patience. They burn steadily, not for years or centuries, but for billions of years, giving warmth and structure to worlds unseen. You are alive in one such world, a small, perfect oasis in an infinite sea. As you drift deeper, you sense the unity of all things. Atoms, planets, galaxies, and consciousness all follow the same quiet laws. Attraction, rhythm, transformation. Nothing is truly separate. Everything moves together in one vast, breathing pattern. And in this awareness, in this vast, tranquil understanding, you feel a calm that stretches beyond the edges of thought, the same calm that exists in distant nebulae, in the silence between galaxies, now exists within you. And tonight, as your awareness dissolves into this cosmic stillness, you wonder softly if the universe is still expanding. Does that mean even peace itself is growing? reaching further into the infinite quiet of what will come next. *** existence hums in silence. It has no beginning that you can remember, no end that you can imagine. You open your awareness and sense it, the gentle fact of being. You breathe, and the world breathes with you. Air moves in, air moves out. That motion alone is proof enough that something precious is happening. Life in quiet. Continuation. Every particle around you carries history. The carbon you exhale was once part of ancient forests. The oxygen you draw in may have passed through oceans or the lungs of creatures long extinct. Matter does not vanish. It transforms, cycling through forms and stories without ever leaving the circle of being. You are surrounded by balance. Each molecule follows the same laws that govern galaxies. Energy flows, rearranges, and persists. Entropy, the slow drift toward disorder, is not chaos, but transformation, an invitation to renewal. Even decay becomes creation somewhere else. Consciousness arises from this intricate chemistry. Billions of neurons exchange signals in patterns of light and electricity, creating awareness. Yet no single neuron knows the thought it helps make. Meaning emerges only when the parts work together, just as stars form constellations only when seen from a distance. You are that pattern, a temporary alignment of matter that can notice itself. Meaning, like gravity, is not imposed but felt. It draws you gently toward connection to others, to Earth, to the cosmos. You find purpose not by reaching, but by noticing. The warmth of light on skin, the steady rhythm of breath, the kindness exchanged between beings. Each small act is a thread in the fabric of everything. Science calls the laws of nature elegant. Equations describe orbits, waves, and forces with quiet precision. Yet beneath the symbols is simplicity, balance, rhythm, recurrence. The same mathematics that shapes galaxies also describes the spiral of seashells and the branching of trees. Beauty is not an accident. It is the signature of coherence. To exist is to be part of an unfolding experiment. The universe explores itself through stars, oceans, and minds. Your thoughts are the cosmos, considering its own nature, just as coral reefs or forests express its creativity through form. Awareness is the rare moment when existence becomes self-aware. You do not need to search for meaning beyond this. The simple awareness that you are here, breathing, sensing, thinking, is enough. Meaning is the experience itself, the quiet observation of what is happening now. Imagine every choice as a ripple through space and time. Each word, each gesture, alters the flow in subtle ways. The universe listens. It adjusts. The path of every photon, every molecule, is part of the same grand choreography. Nothing stands apart from the whole. Even uncertainty has purpose. Quantum physics tells us that reality, at its smallest scale, is fluid. Particles exist in possibilities until observed. This uncertainty is not confusion. It is freedom. The universe allows for variation, for creativity, for emergence. Meaning thrives within possibility. At night, when you lie still, you become the observer of this quiet dance. The boundaries between body and world soften. Sound, warmth, and breath blend together until everything feels continuous. Awareness spreads like light through water, gentle and clear. Existence does not demand explanation. It invites participation. You are not here to solve the mystery, but to feel it, to let it move through you like a slow, resonant note. The joy of being is its own answer. Consider how rare awareness is. Out of all matter, most remains silent. Stone, gas, empty space. Yet from that silence arises the ability to reflect, to wonder, to care. Consciousness is the universe's small, flickering lantern, and tonight it glows in you. Even language itself is part of the pattern. Words are vibrations shaped by air, carrying thought across distance. When you speak or listen, molecules move, waves travel, and meaning passes invisibly between minds. Existence communicates through vibration. Everything that is moves and resonates. There is harmony in this. Stars hum with radiation, atoms vibrate, heartbeats pulse, oceans tide, neurons fire. The universe is not silent at all. It sings in frequencies too wide for any single ear to hear. And within that endless song, your life is one quiet verse. Sometimes the search for meaning feels urgent. Yet when you pause, you see that meaning is not a destination, but a condition. It appears whenever you notice beauty, connection, curiosity, or kindness. These are not additions to existence. They are its essence revealed. You rest now inside that realization. The universe does not ask for belief. It offers participation. You are not separate from its vastness. The same physical constants that hold galaxies together hold you together too. You are woven into the same equation, a momentary expression of universal balance. If you could step outside of time, you would see that every event, from a leaf falling to a star igniting, fits into a single, seamless unfolding. There are no accidents, only interwoven causes and effects, each necessary for the next. Meaning, then, is simply relationship, the way everything depends on everything else. Awareness is both question and answer. The mind wonders what it is, and in the wondering, it becomes what it seeks. To ask, "Why am I here?" is to perform the very act of consciousness that defines you. The question is the proof, and so existence is not something to be solved, but to be experienced moment by moment, breath by breath. Every sensation, thought, and heartbeat is a note in a vast, ongoing symphony. You are not outside listening. You are the music itself. The night sky beyond your window is a reminder. Stars shimmer quietly, planets turn, and light travels endlessly. Somewhere, other forms of life may be asking the same gentle questions. The wonder you feel is not solitary. It is shared across the universe, whispered through every conscious being. You breathe again, slowly, and feel the smallness of the self dissolve into something vast. The edges of your body fade. You are the air, the stars, the rhythm of existence itself. And in that stillness, you sense a quiet truth that to exist is already to belong. That meaning is not distant but present, that everything, everywhere, is part of the same gentle act of being. And tonight, as you rest in this soft awareness, you wonder softly if the universe can dream itself into being. What might awaken when you finally, peacefully, let go into sleep? You have traveled far without moving, through stone and tide, through cloud and star, through dream and meaning. Every chapter has led you here, not to another fact or horizon, but to this quiet, living instant. You breathe in, you breathe out. The universe continues. The ground beneath you carries the patience of geology. Mountains hold their breath beneath soil and grass. Inside them, crystals grow grain by grain, recording time in silence. When you listen closely, you can almost hear that patience, a vibration slower than sound. The heartbeat of matter itself, Air drifts softly around you, invisible yet kind. Every breath connects countenance. The molecules you inhale may have circled the planet many times. They have brushed glaciers, deserts, and leaves before finding you tonight. You are breathing the same sky that trees and oceans once exhaled. Far above, oceans of air fade into the hush of space. There, atoms separate and drift, carrying the faint heat of sunlight into endless night. Even in that distance, the pattern holds: expansion, rhythm, return. The same laws that guide galaxies guide the rise and fall of your chest. You are made of everything you have traveled through: minerals, water, carbon, light. A walking archive of the planet's memory. Your cells remember the oceans. Your bones remember the mountains. Within you is the story of Earth, spoken softly in the language of chemistry. At this scale of awareness, thought slows. You no longer need to explain what you feel. The mind rests from its searching, like sediment settling through still water. Beneath the surface, there is clarity, a wide, calm presence holding everything in balance. Science calls this homeostasis. Poets call it peace. The body finds its steady rhythm. The nervous system hums in quiet equilibrium. Every process continues faithfully: heartbeat, digestion, repair, without your effort. You are sustained by systems older and wiser than thought. The same principle echoes in the cosmos. Stars burn with constant balance, gravity pulling inward, fusion pushing outward. Each star holds this perfect tension for billions of years. Balance is the secret of longevity, whether in suns or in souls. When you imagine the vastness of space, you might feel small, but that smallness is sacred. It means you belong to something immense and intelligent, something that needs no end and no center. Your life, brief and luminous, is how the universe becomes aware of itself for a while, meaning you now see is not hidden in the future. It is woven into being. The fact that you can sense this, that you can notice the breath, the silence, the shimmer of thought, is the miracle itself. Awareness is participation. Dreams, too, are still within you. Behind your closed eyes, the mind continues to paint. Images arise, dissolve, and rearrange tiny universes built from memory and imagination. The difference between waking and dreaming is thinner than you think. Both are expressions of consciousness exploring itself. Perhaps the universe dreams through you. Every night, when you sleep, it practices creation again, spinning landscapes, voices, colors. In this way, your rest becomes a cosmic rehearsal for renewal. Even your smallest sensations are vast when you linger with them. The weight of the blanket, the whisper of breath, the pulse in your fingertips. These are constellations of the body, each one orbiting the quiet star of awareness. You do not need to hold on to any thought now. Let them drift as clouds drift. Behind them is a sky that never changes, clear, open, infinite. That sky is the essence of you. If you listen deeply, you might hear the faintest echo, the cosmic background of existence. The same hum that fills galaxies also fills this room. It vibrates through everything: wood, air, skin, memory. It is not a sound, but a feeling. A low, continuous yes. And in that yes, everything rests. The rivers, the mountains, the stars, the cells, the dreams, the hearts that came before and those still to come, all resting, all breathing, all part of the same stillness. There is nothing left to do, no mountain to climb, no truth to chase. You have already arrived, simply by being here. The mind may wander, but awareness does not move. It has been waiting quietly through every chapter, like the center of a wheel that turns without turning. You may notice how thought slows into silence, how breath evens, how gravity holds you gently. Each sensation says the same thing. Stay, rest. Let the universe continue its patient work without your effort. Even time loosens its grip. Seconds stretch like soft fabric. Past and future fold into one long present moment. Here, there is no need to measure anything. Existing is enough. Somewhere, stars continue to burn. Oceans continue to rise and fall. Forests breathe, and wind travels across fields. But you do not need to reach for them. They are already within you in this stillness. You realize that peace is not something to find. It is what remains when you stop searching. It has always been here, quietly holding everything together. You can rest now, not because the journey is over, but because it never needed to begin. Every path you took led back to this simple awareness, this soft presence that has always been your home. And tonight, as your breath slows into the rhythm of the earth, you feel it, the gentle merging of all things. Stone, water, air, light, thought, and dream blending into one vast, luminous silence. And in that silence, one final question lingers. Not to be answered, but to be felt. If the universe can rest within itself, endlessly expanding yet perfectly still, can you rest, too, in the same eternal calm? Asterisk, asterisk, now. There is almost no sound, only the hum of being. The narration has slowed to the pace of your heartbeat, and even that feels like the turning of a distant planet, soft, patient, inevitable. You are lying at the edge of story and silence, where words fade back into the matter they came from. Language has carried you across continents and galaxies, through stone, ocean, cloud, and thought, and now it drifts like a paper boat, coming to rest on the still surface of awareness. The air is cool. You feel its rhythm touching your skin, the same rhythm that has touched every life before you. Each breath is an echo of something ancient. Hydrogen turning to helium in the first stars. Oceans whispering against a newborn countenance. Cells dividing quietly in the dark warmth of the earth. In this space between words, you are not a listener or a thinker. You are presence itself, the small luminous moment in which the universe notices that it is here. Science says the universe will continue expanding for billions of years. Galaxies will drift apart until their light can no longer reach one another. But even then, there will be motion, and even motion will be a kind of music. Entropy will slow every pulse of energy until everything rests in the same temperature. A vast equilibrium of quiet. The universe will exhale completely, and yet that future silence is not sadness. It is completion, the same completion you feel now when breath and thought align, when nothing more is required. Every molecule in your body is older than the earth itself. Hydrogen from the first stars, carbon from their deaths. You are built from endings that became beginnings again. Existence recycles endlessly. Nothing is truly lost. Even in the quiet, you continue as part of everything. Notice how the edges of your body blur. Gravity holds you gently against the earth, and you realize there is no clear line where you end and the world begins. The warmth that leaves your skin joins the air joins the wind joins the atmosphere that encircles the planet. You are always participating in the cycle, whether awake or dreaming. Now imagine the night sky as a slow inhale. The stars are not points but currents of energy. Each one expands and contracts, singing gravity's soft melody. Between them lies dark matter, the unseen framework of everything. It does not shine, yet without it, nothing would hold together. So too with silence. It is invisible, but it gives shape to every word, every sound, every thought. Without silence, music would be noise. Without stillness, life would lose its rhythm. You are the silence between your thoughts, the pause between your breaths. You are not the motion. You are the space that allows it. Listen closely. There is a subtle vibration beneath everything. It is the residue of creation, the echo of energy that has never stopped flowing. Some call it the cosmic background radiation. You can think of it as the universe's sigh, the breath it never stopped taking. Let yourself move with that breath. No need to follow it, just let it pass through. Inhale softly, exhale slowly. Feel how even the smallest breath touches everything that exists. All the journeys you have taken through earth, through sea, through sky, through stars, were always circling back to this single, shared, endless breath. At this point, the mind has no more questions. Wonder remains, but curiosity rests. You do not need to understand. You only need to feel the soft gravity of existence, the steady warmth of being held by everything that is. It is enough to know that life continues, in stars collapsing, in oceans rising, in new thoughts forming quietly in your sleeping mind. It is enough to be part of that unfolding. The room around you becomes vast. You can almost sense the rotation of the planet, the moon's pull on the oceans, the faint tug of sunlight across the distance. You are lying still, but the universe is carrying you through space at thousands of miles per hour. And yet, in this moment, you feel no motion. Because all motion, from the right distance, is stillness. That stillness is your home. It is what you have been returning to since the first line of this story. It was beneath every layer and